Hey, it's Aaron, the Metal Theologian. So, it's probably going to be a quick one. Spencer's in town. He's actually sleeping right there. Yeah, it's kind of a low priority making videos. But I'll make one more before the mustache goes because it's pretty fucking ferocious. And, but I'm sick of it. It's going away. And I'm trying to have a little trouble getting comfortable because I got my ankle cut on. Yeah, alright, anyway, that's why it's live streamed last time. But whatever, I could show... I was actually... Okay, so last time it happened, I, like, put the stitches on as a thumbnail. This one was, like, too gory. I looked at it, I was like, you know... I don't mind being a little antagonistic, but this is just kind of too much, so... Alright, so we're listening to... I actually got this at Greeno's Honey Hole. I can't tell you where it is, though. But this is a reissue of São Paulo Metal. There are 2 volumes of this that were just sitting there and cheap. And it's just really kind of primitive sounding bands from Brazil. You know, these guys don't really have the, this is early, this is 84 anyway. But, you know, you think about the Brazilian shit, you tend to think about sort of like, you know, the harder stuff. Not so much, not quite as shit metal as like the Colombian stuff, but like Vulcano and Sarcófago and bands like that. At least that's what I tend to think of, so. And this is pretty tuneful by comparison, you know, kind of hooky, you know. Yeah, most of these guys are kind of whatever. But this guy has a mustache, which is pretty good, even though it's not as good as mine. And I gotta hand it to Salario Minimo for the band shot there, because this guy's pretty awesome, and so is this guy, so yeah, right on. Oh shit, there's a little seam split inside there, I just noticed. This happens by sealed records sometimes. Yeah, this is volume 2. It's kind of the same deal. It's a similar cover. There's different bands on it, but whatever. So, yeah, so I found a soda that was interesting. So I'm going to bust this out. This is another Shirley Temple one. I actually had one of these already, so spoiler alert. But this one's a lot better than the last one I had. Yeah, Saranac, 1888. World famous, handcrafted. It actually has high fructose corn syrup in it, too, as opposed to real sugar. But I swear, this is probably the best bottled one of these I've ever had. So, it's a delightful concoction. I'm trying to figure out where it's made. Created in the late 1930s. It's universally loved by kids. That's right. Alright, let's bust this open. Damn it, it's bothering me. I don't know where it's from. Oh, there you go. Utica, New York. I love this mounted bottle opener, but it's a little awkward when I'm trying to, like, do the video. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's awesome, man. It has, like, a really sort of faint, the sort of cherry flavor up front, but not, like, overwhelming. You know, like you have, like, your grenadine, right? And, like, a little bit of a ginger ale hint, like, way in the back, but, like, not like... I mean, I really haven't been in the ginger ale headspace lately. Man, sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble staying comfortable. I've been, like, really all that into ginger ales lately. I mean, nothing wrong with it. It's just I haven't been in that mood, you know? But this has just a little bit of a hint of it. That's just super tasty, you know? Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really good soda, this one, man. And it's cool because it's something different. It's even different from, like, the cherry sodas, you know? It kind of has its own thing going on. It's just great. So, yeah, this is probably going to be more like a storytelling hour than anything else. I'm not going to tend to ramble on for a whole hour, but I busted this out. Because Spencer and I have been watching The Prisoner. And I was explaining to him how, like, the intro of the song on this one was the first inkling I ever had that such a thing existed. I just thought it was a really weird intro when I heard this when I was like 12 or 13, maybe at the most, probably 12. So yeah, it was like at least 10 more years before I even knew there was a show. And I just thought it was a really weird intro. You know, the whole like, you are number 6. You know? So anyway, it's still a great album. In fact, in a way, I think I like this one more than I used to, because some of the songs I used to think were kind of dumb, like Invaders and shit, have actually kind of grown on me, you know. I listen to it now and it sounds solid, you know. Prisoner I've always liked. Children of the Damned is fantastic. You know, the big ones. 22 Acacia Avenue is another one that I was kind of down on for a while, but it sounded really good when I played this the other night, so what can I say, man? It's a solid record. It's somewhat as good as Peace of Mind, but it's really first rate. Yeah, speaking of shittier metal, I busted this one out too. Tor. Armageddon. It's a fucking awesome cover, taken in one of those like plague churches. But yeah, it's just weird Czech stuff, like really kind of dirty and rotten sounding, but just really good, you know. And I don't know, probably not as sort of abrasive as like Root, say, but it's definitely has sort of like that black metal aesthetic to it, you know. That sort of 80s black metal aesthetic, not like the you know, the weird sounding. God, sorry, man. I'm trying to sit down a different way. Excuse me. Yeah, the weird black metal aesthetic, not like the you know, the no treble, no drums shit. Let me adjust this. This looks all fucked up now. Yeah, I feel like I'm futzing with the camera a hell of a lot. I usually sort of squat, but kind of sitting in a different way now. Alright, so here's another one I busted out. Because I read a review of it that kind of got me intrigued again. It's fucking, look, I'm holding the record so high now. It's weird. Yeah, this Manimals record, which I had in my punk section, and I don't know, man, it has some metal moves, but it's still really kind of more of a punk record in spirit, you know? Not only because they're so obviously so influenced by the Misfits, but just as far as how the sound writing is, you know what I mean? It's just not really super metal as far as it's the writing more than anything. You know, the execution too, but the writing even more than that. The execution is probably more metal than the writing. So anyway, this record has never really grabbed me. And when I played it the other night, it was really no exception. Like, got off to a good start. I was digging the first song, Blood is the Harvest, but by the end of the third song on side one, which is the last song, I kind of had enough, was ready to move on to something else. So, I don't know, it's not really a super strong recommendation. It's worth a listen. You know, they wear their influences on their sleeve. They get made for effort. Pretty sure they're from Cleveland, too. Rocky River, there you go. West side of Cleveland. But, it's just not really a record worth going really far out of your way for. If you see it cheap, grab it, though, for sure. What else do we have? Now here we go with an all-time favorite, man. I've talked about this one a few times, but I swear this is one of my favorite records ever, man. This Raven Bitch EP, Tear Down the Walls. Yeah, I wish someone would reissue this, because, I mean, this is my copy, and it's kind of in rough shape, but this just deserves to be heard by more people, man. It's a hard record to find, and 4 songs, man, and like every second of this is just brilliant, man. There's no wasted note on here. It's just fucking great, and the more I listen to it, the better it gets. What else do we have here? All right, so let's say some nice things about some other people here for a minute. Okay, so I sent away for this one. It's a Crimson Thorn record. On Bombworks Records, actually, which I got from the Boone's Overstock guys. A limited run vinyl one. Scott's been pushing these pretty hard, and actually he's very helpfully been steering me towards the ones I'd like, and he hasn't had a miss yet, really. So he's like, yeah, you'll like that one. That other one, don't get that one. You won't like that one, pretty much. So, anyway. On the website, it describes Crimson Thorn is being thought of as the Christian Cannibal Corpse. And I'll say, I actually think that's a little bit unfair. First of all, they look super entertaining. Probably more so even than Cannibal Corpse. But more than that, I just feel like they kind of have their own vibe, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's death metal in that style, you know, that's not, as a touch point, that's not without merit, you know what I mean? It gives you an idea of what you're getting into. But, you know, maybe it's just because Cannibal Corpse kind of has become sort of, I mean, I don't know how you can say that a band like that become a parody of itself, but it feels so like, you know, paint by numbers at this point, with them kind of putting the same record out over and over. that it just doesn't really feel right to sort of lump this in with that when this really does kind of have its own vibe going on. They're doing their own thing. It's in that style, very much, you know, American death metal. I don't know where they're from, but, you know, American death metal of the Floridian variety. But very much worth hearing, man. It's a really good record. And it's no shit death metal, too. They're not, like, pulling their punches, you know, and going soft for Jesus or anything. This is, like, a serious, no shit metal record. Death metal, specifically, so. There you go. They even kind of do it with the titles, too, man, like Your Carcass and Cultivate Decay. And, what else? Asphyxiated. Malignant Masters. Yeah. That's pretty good, man. This is a solid record. Very good record. What really kind of blew my mind is that dude actually threw in a little bonus, and I was just so, like, touched by this. Fuck, where did I put it? But I was building it up like an asshole. Yeah, like, he threw in a copy of this, which I hadn't grabbed yet, which is the new Heretic record. Actually, I don't even know if this is the new one. I think they've done one since then. But Scott was talking about this one a lot for a while, too. Scott Waters. This is a Brutal Planet one. This is, I think this is actually about 10 years old, and they've made one since, and this is the first vinyl appearance of it, and I might be wrong about that, but in any case, it's a really solid, really cool heavy metal record. It has a really nice cover. Here, I'll pull it out of the thing because it looks so good, and the lighting here is a little bit less than perfect, but, yeah, but as much as anything, man, I just appreciate it so much, the, extra little bit of love for my humble channel here, you know. So go and buy lots of stuff from Boone's Overstock. Support that guy because he's doing first-rate work anyway, and he's a hell of a guy to boot. Like, straight up good human being. So, yeah. On a related note, I went up for last time I went up to Grow Man Record Night. There's a little record shop in Bananas Town, and got a copy of this, and I was like, you know, this is one of those private pressings. I mean, look at that. You know, if you've been watching my channel for more than 10 minutes, you know this is the sort of record that I geek out over. It just looks so primitive, you know. Here, check out this label. Alias Mangler, such a crappy band name too, you know. Look at that. So there you go. Super primitive. Yeah, well, anyway, the guy said, oh, no, I can't let you have that one because that one's mine. But I know the guy who was in the band, and he brings me copies sometimes. So, you know, give me your information, and, you know, I'll give you a call when I get some more in. So, you know, this is like in spring, right? So, more than 6 months go by. I figure you forgot. You know, I don't blame him. I mean, how many people come through the store, and you can't keep all this shit straight in your head. Well, like, I think it was this past Monday. It doesn't seem like that can be right, but I'm pretty sure it was this past Monday. I get this call out of nowhere from North Carolina area code I don't recognize. And he goes, it's a dude from the record shop, King Records, it's called, in High Point. And he's like, hey, I got some more. I got a couple copies of that thing in. And he offered it to me at a really good price too. So he was like, give me directions here. I was like, dude, I'm actually in Charleston, man. Can you like mail it to me or something? He was like, oh yeah, he was totally cool about it. You know, if he had taken a couple days to get in the mail, man, I wouldn't have blamed him a couple days before Christmas. But he got it right out. And given that it's just coming down from there, man, it's already here. So I totally appreciate that. Like, it was an awesome, it's a really cool record anyway. It's my kind of deal. You know, from Cary, North Carolina, 1986. Signed by this dude, no less. And, yeah, you know, just really appreciate that. So, big shout out to King Records, too. In fact, I have a sticker over there that I kind of want to show, but I'm not sure if I'll find it in a reasonable amount of time. I'll show it next time. Alright, so sort of sticking with the Brazilian theme. I played this guy, which is like a reissue of the, like one of the first like Brazilian records that was like important, I guess, like this sort of big thing. It's some show from '84 with Metamorphose and Dorsal Atlantica. You have to pardon my Portuguese pronunciation. I'm going to put on that Alias Mangler for a minute. No, I'm going to put on Raven Bitch for a minute. If I can find the inner for this thing. Yeah, so anyway, the Ultimatum record is it's really interesting. It's based on what I had heard about it being sort of lo-fi and poorly produced and really super primitive, and Brazilian metal hadn't really found its way yet. I was expecting it to be a lot more sort of like dirty and just kind of crappy, but it was actually pretty. Maybe Hooky would be going a little bit strong with it. But it was a lot more like straight ahead metal than what I was expecting from the likes of Dorsal Atlantica, And the other band, Metamorphosa, I like them just as much too, man. So it's really good songs across the board. And just a really cool record, man. This one gets 2 thumbs up for me. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. And again, that's partially born out of surprise. This sort of random split. Wasn't necessarily expecting to be the greatest thing ever, but it's pretty good. But it's not as good as this one. God, I've hyped this record so many times. I kind of feel guilty, but not too guilty to listen to it one more time, man. Right on. Alright, what else do we have here? Some stuff I've already talked about, really. Here's a relatively new arrival. I was pretty glad to get my hands on this. This is the last Death Row record. So, they made 4 records. The first, 3 you kind of come across from time to time. Oh, shit, sorry. I mean, the first 2 are the really rough ones. Then the third one's more like the prog metal one, right? And this one is more like in that third album vein too, but you don't see this one around as much. This was on a label that 1 or 2 of the people from Holy Moses started, apparently. And for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to call it West Virginia Records. So not that I have any beef with West Virginia, but that just seems like a weird name for your label. I don't know. Anyway, I really like this cover, so it's probably a lot easier to find on CD, though. So that's a good one. Yeah. Actually, here's my other little sort of current experiment. Maybe y'all can help me with this too. I've been trying to find some value in this record. Okay, this is like the clunker, right? This is the Sabotage record that sort of came inexplicably in the middle of their shit. Well, not inexplicably, it's because fucking metal was kind of the thing if you went pop with it, so they went pop with it and tried to make some money, so I understand that, but you can tell by the pictures pretty much, But I don't know, so I put this on a couple weeks ago, left it out to play a couple more times before I put it away. I didn't hate it, man. I mean, it's not Sirens, it's not the Dungeons they're calling it, But it's not just I don't know, actually, what the context was? Is I was reading that Noise book, and they were talking about, the one that I talked about last time I streamed, and I was reading a section about Celtic Frost and with Cold Lake and that coming out, and I was kind of going, Cold Lake isn't really that bad a record. If all glam had sounded like Cold Lake, we would not hate glam the way we do, you know what I mean? I mean, not that everyone does, but you know what I mean. If you're into this kind of metal, you know exactly what I'm talking about, whether you like the crew or not, okay? So I was thinking, well, maybe this one's kind of like that too. You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't sound like Sirens, just like Cold Lake didn't sound like Morbid Tales, or maybe it had some merit to that I just sort of missed last time around, because I hadn't played this in probably 20 years. I didn't spend anything on this, or I wouldn't even have it. So, in fact, it wasn't even bagged until a couple days ago. I just had this sitting there without even a sleeve on it. So anyway, if you have a favorite song on here, tell me what it is. Some specific I should be looking for. Again, I would say I don't like to solicit comments, and then I do anyway, but yeah, this is sort of my project in a funny way. So other than that, I have a few records sitting here for like, I want to do another dissecting video soon. So I kind of love those. And of course, giving Renee his due, by the way. I think that's all I've got, man. Yeah, that's it, man. Not a ton of shit sitting here right now, so like I said, you know, holiday season, hanging out with Spencer, enjoying the fact that he's in town. He's asleep, so I'm not embarrassing him. Not that he gets embarrassed by such things, which is pretty awesome because I would have when I was that age. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Give lots of support to Boone's Overstuff.